I'm standing next to somebody that I would prefer to call a media guru, Slikour.
Yes, Njan.
Mkhona njani?
I'm here.
The last time I interviewed you, you were about to launch Slikouronlife.
Yes, 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 yes.
A few years ago.
Like 12 years ago.
Imagine 12 years ago, and now it's a huge brand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are working.
I remember I remember when I
I'm
was
trying to
asking
be
you,
serious.
we were talking about how new this thing is and how it's going to change the face of the industry. And now it has taken over, and Slikouronlife is one of the big platforms. It's also motivating some of us to take ourselves more serious in terms of the media. How did you achieve that success in the last 12 years?
I mean, I think it's really taking from everything that even guys like you did. For me, I always asked myself, what kept you guys doing like Iguaito? You understand? And there's a big lesson is that sometimes you are not the one that will be the biggest, but you are the one that will literally create the path for others who will benefit. So you have to find out who are you in the ecosystem of the world. And I think I've planted seeds multiple times. So I don't do it to become the biggest. I do it because it's like a calling. I mean, what made you just not dance only, and do dance competitions? What made you pursue and when producing was a thing that was far fetched? What made you do that? You don't know. So sometimes you just like be comfortable with those things you don't know.
You know, the funniest thing is, I looked at Square Campus, this big brand. But out of that brand, there was a lot of brands that came out. You know, I don't want to talk about those things because I don't want to take away the work of the Creative
Of
Synergy.
course.
We are here at the Creative Synergy, and I saw you participating. What was your contribution here? Was it through Slikouр himself alone or Slikouronlife as well?
I'm here I'm on a panel speaking about AI. So I think the next thing that I'm really bringing in the creative space with my creativity and innovation, the next new thing when you speak to me in the next 10 years, I'm bringing finance into the creative space. So I've already got a financial platform that I've built. I've started doing deals with. I've got a deal with like Visa. So we're building something that literally could be the center of finance for creativity, firstly, and then once creativity has got its own center of finance, it doesn't have to be looking for partners because everyone that banks with the bank is listening to piano, is listening to hip hop, is going to a concert. Most people are, or they buy, if they can't go, they're buying something related to what like people like us or people who are now in the lead are creating. So I don't understand. I just never understood why the people who bank them are not interested in their interest. They're just interested in one interest, which is your life, your funeral, your this. They don't look at everything. So so I think that we approaching fixing music the wrong way. We keep on trying to fix music with music when we need to fix music with money. And if we're going to fix music and creativity, then firstly we got to literally create our own hub of finance where people who support us are literally like using a platform that's ours so we can plow back into the.
I'm glad that you're doing this interview in front of AJ. AJ, I've told you many times how intelligent this man is. Now it's about this time this country honors him. Can we see he's now looking at 10 years from now, which is something that I was telling them that 12 years ago, I interviewed you and you were talking about this platform. And no one in this country was doing this. Now, 10 years going ahead, you are already coming up with this platform. And I still say it's an honor for me standing next to you. I
It's
know
an
I've
honor for
I've
me
I've been
you know
I've been there before you, but you've just got a certain strange brain. I don't know. Where did you get this brain?
I genuinely love what I do, and the world hasn't accepted and embraced me. The corporate world hasn't accepted me and embraced me. The school world hasn't embraced. So for me, I'm just as important as an academic. I'm just as important as as a lawyer. I'm important as all these people, but but I create. So how do I create structure so other people who come in my place, if I'm saying I'm creating a bank, there'll be a creator who's into numbers. I mean, you signed Lyra. She was an accountant, but she was an accountant for a company that doesn't care about music. So imagine you're an accountant and you're finance or you're treasurer inside a business that actually cares about music. And that's what Slikouronlife.za was like, how can we create a media with someone who actually cares about music? That's why all the young kids who work for me, then they started doing, I mean, platforms like Creative Corner, all those kids were working inside Slikouronlife in the beginning.
I was saying to people, I always say this to people, that Slikour is doing more for this country when it comes to this urban young market more than the government does. And I might be wrong, but for me, looking at it statistically, I see a lot of input that you have for this industry, and I would like to say thanks on behalf of them. And I look at your platform all the time. I see what you're doing for the industry, and good luck on your work, my brother.
I haven't started. I'm just saying. I haven't started. All I've done now, I've done everything that could be duplicated, which was start a seed. When we start making a difference, is when we are in the center of the money. You see, the only thing I keep listening to here, even when we come to things like these, it's always about someone should be doing this, someone should be, but we know everything is about bottom line. Where's the business? Where's the return? Do you know what I mean? And this is what, like, we're not having business conversations, we're having creativity conversations. So creativity conversations will lead you with, I need more money again, while business conversations will need to lead to sustainability. And there are creatives who you can teach that this is what we mean by return. This is how you got to work on return. You'll hear on my chat with AI. The best way to use AI for creators is that creators don't need to learn anything. Create AI that learns that, okay, you've just released your song. When your song dropped, automatically, if you put in your name, we know that, like, it automatically speaks to Samro, Capasso, that. So AI does that. And then it automatically then puts your money back in. So now a guy doesn't have, he just has to drop a song and load it in a system that literally talks to everything that they say the guy doesn't know or needs to learn. And the guy will just get a lot of money and say, where's this money from? It doesn't matter if he doesn't know, it's his.
Wow. But are they hearing you?
Well, I'm going to be saying that in the AI chat, though. I've spoken to Gayton McKenzie, and I'm going to name drop him, and I've spoken to him, but, respectfully, his enthusiasm for the arts is great, but I don't think it's the enthusiasm that's sustainable. And I say this as a guy who's built a 10-year business. My business, Slikouronlife, has been around for 15 years. It's turned over 100 million. You know what I mean? I did this myself. So I'm not talking from, I'm trying to, and I know he's a business, but I don't think Gayton is listening to the sustainability. And I'm saying this honestly, because I've literally had a chat with him. We talked to talk, never answered. And I'm saying, Gayton, I know he's got a good heart, but this is how we build sustainability. And he's not making time, he's constantly addressing the things that we've been addressing for 20 years, which will always, like, need and not sustain. People will always not have the education for, like, how with the money, but how do you build something that sustains permanently? And that's what we need to be talking about. We shouldn't worry about AI. We should say, how are we creating new systems so we work together? So when a new AI comes, all we're doing, we've created information system that streams down information. And now 20 people know about it, so we're safe. Then things, now 40 people. That's what we need to be. How are we streaming down information that will help us? Not how we're trying to figure how you need to give me. How do we stream down information? You know? And I wish Gayton could make the time. But you see, I know
I'm
he's a
going.
great.
No, I'm going to challenge you. I
Yeah.
need to sit down with you for 1 hour because I need to break down what you're talking about so that we take the tape and say this is what we've been discussing. We are not saying any bad things, but
No,
this
no,
is
no,
a
no.
plea from the industry.
By the way, Gayton when he's done good things for me just as a guy. So I'm not I know he's got a good heart and I know he's got a different mind. And I think he's the only guy that I've known who probably could see the sustainability. But yeah, he just hasn't been available to do it.
He's given football VAR, so he must give us AI.
That's it.
Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go. Thank
That's
you.
Slikour. Like I told you guys that you can give Slikour the microphone and he can go on and on for the next 2 days because he's got ideas for days.